Yes, at this time, the standard of care is chemo plus or minus nivolumab, plus or minus bevacizumab or cetuximab. In Europe, it's no labeling for immuno-oncology. In US, it's some labeling for Pembro and for Nivo in patients with refractory disease. The limitation is first that chemo plus or minus targeted therapy don't work very well with TFS and response rate a little bit inferior to microsatellite stable disease. It's it is the first point, and the second point is the fact that the limitation is we have no access to immuno-oncology at this time, and without phase 3, it's not possible to treat patients with immunotherapy. It's clear that immunotherapy by PD-1 or PD-L1 give very good results in advanced disease refractory to chemo, but at this time it is an emergency to have a phase 3, to have the opportunity for pembrolizumab to ask a labeling in first line in US with the FDA, and in Europe and in the other countries of the world for this indication. Now, the rationale is MSI is very particular tumor with a lot of mutation and a lot of neoantigens, and it's also a tumor with a filtration of a lot of lymphocytes, and it was the beginning of the story done by Luis Diaz in the New England paper now 5 years ago with the first results of Pembro in MSI, and the rationale is really it's very particular colorectal cancer. It's 15% of all colorectal cancer, only 5% of metastatic colorectal cancer, but the rationale is very high because it's a lot of neoantigens and a tumor mutation burden very high in MSI colorectal cancer. The aim was very simple. It was to improve two study endpoints. Its core primary endpoint, progression-free survival and overall survival. It's two endpoints, but if PFS is a positive endpoint, the study is definitely a positive trial. The aim, the design is a phase 3 randomization for MSI or dMMR colorectal tumor patient with colorectal MSI or dMMR. First line therapy, and it's a randomization between pembrolizumab every three weeks or chemo, FOLFOX or FOLFIRI, plus or minus bevacizumab or cetuximab. The design is very simple, and it's a randomization 1-to-1. The major efficacy results are improvement in progression-free survival. It's 16.5 months for Pembro and 8.2 months for chemo. The hazard ratio is 0.6, and the p-value is highly significant. And the more important result is the fact after 2 years of pembrolizumab, 48% of the patients are free of progression and stop the chemotherapy, stop the pembrolizumab, and for this patient, stop all therapy and go back to the life without therapy. For chemo, it's less, it's 90% stopping it's 19% without progressive disease at 2 years, but for this patient, except if patient had surgery of metastasis, majority have to continue chemo or anti-cancer drug. Concerning the safety, it's clear that Pembro is less toxic compared to chemo. It's not the same toxicity because Pembro it's immuno-mediated side effect. Chemo it's more classical alopecia, diarrhea, neuropathy, and the classical effect of chemo. But really 22 grade 3/4 for Pembro and 66% for chemo. It's a huge difference. And it's also a very simple schedule for Pembro because it's 1 hour of infusion every 3 weeks, compared to chemo, more convenient, more complexity of the schedule because it's 5 or 6 hours of out hospital with infusion of 5-FU for 48 days. It's really for the patient not the same thing, less toxic and more efficacious. Progress are done by the fact it's very easy to know if a patient is MSI or not. It's 2 techniques. It's the immunochemistry with 4 antibodies, very cheap, very simple, very with high sensibility and specificity. And we have also the PCR. It's not very expensive, and it's really now very easy to have the diagnosis of MSI. The future is probably NGS because NGS don't give only MSI status, but give a lot of other things, the tumor burden, and to evaluate all the population is probably more convenient, more expensive, but more it's more for all the genes and to select the good therapy. It's probably more the future. The only thing is at this point. In the Keynote 177, the majority of patients have benefit, but we have at the beginning approximately 30% of the patients with progressive disease, and we have to go back to the blocks of the 177 to try why some patients had progressive disease at the disease, why some patients had progressive disease at the beginning, to try to have more efficient translational research to predict the efficacy of Pembro. We have to improve the selection. We have a good selection, but it's probably possible to improve this selection.